Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. Doing a second video tonight, or I should say this morning. It's about 3 something in the morning here in Osaka, Japan. And once again, the preamble that I'm speaking kind of in a hushed tone because I don't want to wake people up in my hostel in Japan. Normally I'm not as a hushed sounding, whispery as I am. So I apologize for that. It could be worse. I could be talking like this, but I'm not gonna go that extreme. I will at least find a nice balanced middle ground, shall we say. So anyway, in this video, I want to talk about another really, interesting subject, and that's the concept of television shows in the great beyond. Do we watch TV shows when we're dead? And in the previous video, I was talking about Astral Los Angeles and the perpetuity of the golden age of Hollywood, how that is still seemingly happening based on people's reports of the other side. Well, on the same note, the astral version of Earth seems to have an entire media entertainment industry. And something that I've been doing since I first began having these experiences has involved going into my astral home and turning on the TV and trying to get an understanding of what this parallel culture, parallel dimension is like on a practical level. And doing so, I have seen many TV shows. I have seen news reports, and I've seen, mostly news reports, but I've seen like commercials and bits of TV shows, films, and things like that. And, I kind of thought I was the only one to come up with this kind of stuff, so I was basically on a thread on Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, the Facebook group. I was talking about an experience I had recently. So a couple nights ago, I had this fragmented astral memory where I was watching something on TV, and it was an interview by a group of psychologists, and they were interviewing this young man who had murdered his parents, and I presume he killed himself after. And it was kind of like maybe like a kind of Dateline kind of show. They were trying to get into the head of this guy and figure, he was in kind of like almost like a prison or like a containment facility. And it was like these 4 psychologists, and they were trying to get an impression of, what makes somebody like this tick, since it seemed like their same pathology carried with them after that they died and crossed over to that side. And they're like still basically a threat to people. He's still a threat to people around him. And so, I don't know how it works, if he's willingly in a containment area, if there's some kind of a law enforcement type thing happening where somehow they keep him in this place against his will. I don't know. That was the impression I got. But like when this kid got to the part where he was describing doing the murder, it's like there was this like really twisted glee or cruelty that was in his story, in his tonality, and it was really quite disturbing. And that was the point of the show. It's like, trying to get into the mind of a killer. After that killer has already died on this side and is now living on that side. So one of the contributors of Afterlife Topics, the forum, let's see if I can find my spot because I scrolled up. Kim, she mentioned that she had also had this kind of fragmented astral memory where she was watching something on TV and it was the same subject. So she was at a party, and there was something on TV hosted by Casey Kasem, and it was a murder victim was being interviewed the same way that I had my experience, or the thing that I saw on TV. So like this was a similar topic that she thinks that she might have had as well. So I'm trying to find a different yeah. So I kind of like, as I say, sometimes some of these memories, they come in fragments. Sometimes I don't have a complete astral experience. Sometimes it's like I wake up and like I'm rearranging all these memories of stuff that was happening to me, and then I get a clearer picture. Other times it's like clear as a bell. So this experience for me, it wasn't completely clear, but it was weirdly specific enough that I will chalk it up as probably astral. So what else? So Christopher asked if it's possible to be in the other side and turn on the news to see what's happening on the Earth plane, and I do think that's possible. But when I've watched the news on that side, it's been pretty much stuff happening on that side, including like the local news, and so like I've even seen traffic reports. Like, I mean, in my experience, like not every car is, well, rather I should say people are driving cars, but they're a hell of a lot nicer than here. I've seen flying cars. I've seen a lot of weird stuff that you just would never see in this realm, but still they find it necessary to do like traffic reports or like little helicopter bird's eye views of the city. I've seen those a few times, but there was no shortage of news stories, and it's always interesting. I'll tell you that. So that's about it. I'm not sure what else I wanted to share necessarily on this topic, except that I just think it's very interesting to point out that if you find yourself out of body, like I'm serious, find a computer, find a TV, turn it on, and get some information, because what's really needed are astral journalists, because it's amazing how common these experiences, these abilities are. I mean, a lot of people do this stuff. They don't even talk about it. Like it's this weird secret they keep, but they don't know how to even make sense of it. There's a lot of people going through this life right now. They don't know anything about these subjects of the afterlife or astral projection, but they know it's all real. They know it all exists, and they're going over there on a nightly basis. But it's like they've just fragmented, their memories and their perception. They don't want to. It's like they don't want to be thought of as crazy, so they keep it all inside. But there's people out there, and they have all this information about life in this objective parallel dimension, but they're not sharing it. There's the difference with me. The only thing that makes my work different is I tackle this like a journalist, and I report information, I gather information, and I approach the subject in that way. And a great way to get information is when you're on that side, connect to the media, connect to the internet, connect to the TV. Get on freaking Astral Google, because there is one. There was definitely an Astral YouTube, because I mean, just like in this world, I spend way too much time sitting around on YouTube. Like I've literally had astral experiences just sitting around on YouTube, or at least some equivalent of YouTube. Not everything is the same. Some things don't carry over, but there is an internet, and there is a like a tech industry as well. And because I've met and spoken to professionals on that side, working in that field, and I think even some of the stuff we do on this side, I'm like, we get inspiration from people who are crossed over, living on that side, and that's where some of our technology even comes from. Anyway, if you like this stuff, hit that subscribe button. Help keep this channel going. I really need some help with that. And you can hit to afterlifetopics.com. Get engaged. Join the Facebook group that I have. I have that up right now on the screen. And that's about it for this video, I think. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.